Have you ever wondered what it would be like to see the world through the eyes of an astrophysicist? Well, today we're going to try. We're diving into the mind of Neil deGrasse Tyson to see how a physicist's point of view can make sense of, well, just about everything, from diet fads all the way to the biggest mysteries of the universe. It's all about a way of thinking that just cuts right through the noise to find what really matters, the fundamental truth.
Okay, this sounds like a trick question, right? But the answer actually reveals a really powerful way to think. See, your hat size isn't just some random number. It's the circumference of your head divided by pi. It's the diameter. It's a simple, beautiful formula hidden right there in plain sight. And that's the whole key, finding that fundamental truth that's buried under all the layers of complexity. And that's the exact tool we're going to use today.
So how do we start thinking like this? Well, we're not going to start with the stars. Nope, we're going to start with something a lot closer to home. The billion-dollar diet industry. It turns out it's the perfect training ground for finding a clear signal in a whole lot of noise.
And there you have it. That's the whole book. One sentence that basically makes thousands of other diet books totally obsolete. This is the heart of the physicist's perspective. It's not about ignoring all the details, but it's about finding that single, non-negotiable principle that governs the entire system. Everything else, when you eat, what you eat, that's all just window dressing around this one core truth. This idea, this cutting away the window dressing, that is our main mission today. It's all about stripping a problem down to its bare bones physics. And the cool part is, once you learn how to do it for something like weight loss, you can start to apply that exact same logic to much bigger and way more controversial ideas. All right, so we have applied this lens to something personal. Now, let's level up. We're going to turn that same sharp, unforgiving logic onto a deeply held cultural tradition and see what truths pop out. So, this was a real tweet that Neil deGrasse Tyson sent out on Christmas Day. And it went viral, became his most retweeted tweet ever. And people were furious. They accused him of trolling, of being disrespectful. But from a physicist's perspective, he was just stating a simple, verifiable fact. Isaac Newton was born on December 25th, and his discoveries absolutely transformed the world. It's this perfect, brilliant example of a clash between our emotional traditions and just cold, hard observation. And that whole controversy naturally leads to a much deeper question. I mean, if we don't actually know the historical date of Jesus' birth, and it was probably sometime in the spring, then why this specific day in the middle of winter? Well, the answer, as it turns out, has nothing to do with theology. It's all about astronomy. You have to put yourself in the shoes of ancient people. For them, watching the sun get lower and lower in the sky every single day was terrifying. The winter solstice, which literally comes from the Latin for sun stands still, was the moment of maximum panic. Is it going to come back? It would take a few days to really confirm that, yep, the sun was on its way back. And that confirmation, right around December 25th, kicked off a huge pagan party. So when early Christianity was looking for converts, what did they do? They just piggybacked on the biggest, most popular party of the year. When you strip it all down, the date is astronomical, not theological. Okay, let's take a quick breather from history and religion and apply our physicist lens to something a little more fun, Hollywood movies. And you might actually be surprised by who gets the science right and who gets it really, really wrong. So check this out. It's a total reversal of what you'd expect. The serious, Oscar-winning, scientifically minded movie Gravity gets basic orbital mechanics completely wrong. You can't just hop from the ISS to the Chinese space station. But the animated kids movie, Monsters, Inc., it absolutely nails the physics of a four-dimensional portal. Seriously, the idea of accessing a whole other 3D space through a 2D surface, a closet through a door, is exactly how a wormhole is theorized to work. Who knew? A huge win for the physics consultants at Pixar. Okay, so we've seen how this kind of thinking can clarify the world around us. But now we're going to push into some areas where our everyday common sense and our intuition just completely, utterly break down. This is where the universe starts to show us how truly strange it is. I mean, the answer seems pretty obvious, doesn't it? Infinity is infinity. It goes on forever. How could one forever be bigger than another forever? But in the world of mathematics, the answer is a mind-bending, emphatic no. Not all infinities are created equal. It's a tough concept to wrap your head around, but think of it like this. You've got an infinite list of all the counting numbers. 1, 2, 3, 4, on and on. Now, imagine you have another infinite list of all the decimal numbers between just 0 and 1. You might think you could pair them up, 1 for 1, forever. But mathematicians proved you can't. No matter how you try to pair them, you will always have decimal numbers left over. There is a bigger infinity of decimals than there is of counting numbers. And that's a truth that we discovered not by looking at anything, but just through pure logic. A perfect example of a reality our brains just weren't built to understand.
This brings us to maybe one of the most misunderstood ideas in all of science, the famous observer effect in quantum physics. You've probably heard it used to suggest that our minds, our consciousness, have some kind of mystical power over the universe. But what's really going on?
Yeah, this is the popular take on it. The woo-woo version. The idea that just by thinking about something or by looking at it, we can actually bend reality to our will. It's a really cool idea, right? But it's also a complete misreading of the physics.
Here's the simple physical truth. You can't see anything without interacting with it. I mean, to see a tiny little subatomic particle, you have to literally bounce another particle, like a photon of light, off of it. But that particle is so incredibly small that the very act of hitting it with a photon knocks it somewhere else. So the observer effect isn't about consciousness. It's about the fact that measurement is a physical act. It's a collision. It's not magic, it's just mechanics.
So we've gone from calories to Christmas to quantum mechanics. We've used this one way of thinking, stripping away all that window dressing to find a deeper truth in every single case. So now let's pull all the way back for one final cosmic takeaway from all of this. And this really is the ultimate lesson. Our common sense? It's a tool that evolved for our survival on one tiny planet. It was never designed to grasp the entire universe. The universe plays by its own rules, and it really doesn't care about our beliefs or our intuitions. And maybe the real joy isn't in having all the answers, but in learning how to ask better questions and just embracing the profound and beautiful weirdness of it all.